Shivaji Maharaj, the warrior king who defied an empire. Imagine standing against the most powerful empire in the world, an empire that controlled millions of people, commanded vast armies, and stretched across nearly all of India. Now imagine defeating that empire not once, but repeatedly. This is the story of Shivaji Maharaj, the legendary warrior king who built an empire from nothing and became a symbol of courage, leadership, and resistance. His name still inspires millions today, and for many, he remains one of India's greatest heroes. But who was Shivaji Maharaj? How did a young noble from the hills of Western India challenge the mighty Mughal Empire? This is his story. Shivaji was born in 1630 at the hill fort of Shivneri in present-day Maharashtra. His father, Shahaji Bhonsle, was a military commander who served various Deccan kingdoms. Because of his father's frequent military campaigns, Shivaji spent much of his childhood under the guidance of his mother, Jijabai. Jijabai would have a profound influence on the young boy. She filled his mind with stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, epic tales of heroes, righteousness, and duty. From an early age, Shivaji developed a deep sense of purpose. While many nobles sought wealth or titles, Shivaji dreamed of something far greater, a sovereign Hindu kingdom free from foreign domination. As he grew older, he trained relentlessly in swordsmanship, horse riding, military tactics, and statecraft. The rugged mountains of the Western Ghats became his classroom, and those mountains would later become his greatest weapon. By his teenage years, Shivaji began taking control of local forts. These forts were the key to power in Western India. In 1646, at just 16 years old, he captured Torna Fort. It was his first major victory. Soon, more forts followed. Rather than relying on massive armies, Shivaji used diplomacy, intelligence networks, surprise attacks, and local support. His growing power alarmed the rulers of the Bijapur Sultanate, one of the major kingdoms in the region. At first, they underestimated him. That would prove to be a costly mistake. The encounter with Afzal Khan. In 1659, the Sultan of Bijapur decided to crush Shivaji once and for all. He sent one of his most feared generals, Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan was a giant of a man and a veteran commander. Confident of victory, he marched toward Shivaji with a large army. As he advanced, he destroyed temples and villages, hoping to provoke Shivaji into a reckless battle. But Shivaji refused to fight on Afzal Khan's terms. Instead, he invited the general to a supposedly peaceful meeting. Both men agreed to come lightly armed. However, Shivaji suspected treachery. He secretly wore armor beneath his clothing and concealed a weapon known as the Wagh Nak, or tiger claws. When the two men met, Afzal Khan allegedly attempted to seize and kill Shivaji, but Shivaji reacted instantly. Using the tiger claws, he wounded Afzal Khan and escaped the attack. A fierce struggle followed, ending with Afzal Khan's death. At that moment, Shivaji's hidden forces launched a surprise attack. The Bijapur army collapsed. The victory transformed Shivaji from a local rebel into a regional power. Across India, people began to take notice. The rise of a military genius. Shivaji understood something many rulers did not. He could never match larger empires in manpower, so he fought differently. His military strategy relied on speed, intelligence, and mobility. Today, many historians describe his methods as a form of guerrilla warfare. His soldiers moved quickly through mountain passes. They struck unexpectedly and disappeared before enemy reinforcements arrived. His network of forts allowed him to control key routes while remaining difficult to capture. One of his greatest strengths was his ability to adapt. He learned from every battle. He turned geography into a weapon, and he repeatedly defeated larger forces that underestimated him. By the 1660s, Shivaji's growing influence caught the attention of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb ruled one of the largest and richest empires on earth. Determined to expand Mughal control into the Deccan, he viewed Shivaji as a threat. The conflict between the two leaders would become one of the defining struggles of Indian history. In 1664, Shivaji launched a daring raid on Surat, one of the Mughal Empire's wealthiest cities. The attack shocked the empire. It demonstrated that even Mughal prosperity was vulnerable. Aurangzeb responded by sending powerful armies south. For years, fierce fighting followed. One of the most famous episodes of Shivaji's life occurred in 1666. After negotiations with the Mughals, Shivaji traveled to Agra to meet Emperor Aurangzeb. The meeting did not go as expected. According to historical accounts, Shivaji felt insulted by the treatment he received at court. Soon afterward, he found himself effectively under house arrest. For many leaders, this would have meant the end. But Shivaji was not most leaders. Legend says he devised an ingenious escape. Pretending to be ill, he began sending baskets of sweets and gifts to temples and religious figures. Over time, guards became accustomed to these deliveries. Then one day, Shivaji and his son reportedly hid inside the baskets and escaped captivity. Whether every detail of the story is true remains debated by historians. What is certain is that Shivaji successfully escaped Mughal control and returned home. His escape became legendary. It reinforced his reputation as a man who could outthink even the mightiest empire. By the 1670s, Shivaji had recovered much of his territory and expanded his influence. In 1674, he achieved a lifelong dream. At Raigad Fort, he was formally crowned as Chhatrapati, meaning sovereign ruler. The coronation was far more than a ceremony. It symbolized the birth of the Maratha Empire. For Shivaji, it represented independence, legitimacy, and self-rule. He established an efficient administration, improved revenue systems, promoted local governance, and strengthened military organization. Unlike many rulers of the era, Shivaji emphasized merit and competence. His administration included people from diverse backgrounds. He also became known for his relatively disciplined treatment of civilians during military campaigns. These policies helped earn him loyalty among his subjects. Master of the Seas. Most people know Shivaji for his land campaigns, but fewer realize he was also a naval pioneer. Recognizing the importance of protecting India's western coastline, he built one of the region's earliest organized naval forces. This was a revolutionary idea. At a time when European powers were expanding their influence through maritime trade and warfare, Shivaji understood that controlling the sea was essential. He constructed coastal forts and naval bases to defend against foreign threats. His efforts laid the foundation for future Maratha naval power. The final years. Despite decades of warfare, Shivaji continued expanding and consolidating his kingdom. His leadership transformed a regional movement into a powerful state. However, years of constant campaigning took their toll. In 1680, Shivaji Maharaj died at the age of 50. News of his death spread rapidly. Many wondered whether the Maratha state could survive without its founder. Yet the empire he built endured. In the years that followed, the Marathas continued resisting Mughal domination. Eventually, they would become one of the most powerful forces in India. Ironically, the struggle Shivaji began contributed to the gradual weakening of the Mughal Empire itself. More than 3 centuries after his death, Shivaji Maharaj remains one of India's most celebrated historical figures. Why? Because his story is about more than military victories. It is a story of vision, of leadership, of resilience against overwhelming odds. He transformed a dream into reality. He challenged an empire that seemed unbeatable, and he proved that determination, strategy, and courage could change the course of history. For many Indians, Shivaji represents self-rule, justice, and national pride. His forts still stand across Maharashtra. His name is remembered in songs, literature, films, and history books, and his legacy continues to inspire new generations. From a young boy raised on stories of heroes to the founder of a mighty empire, Shivaji Maharaj's life is one of the greatest tales in Indian history. He was a warrior, a strategist, a king, and above all, a leader who refused to accept the limits imposed upon him. His story reminds us that history is often shaped not by the strongest empire, but by those brave enough to challenge it.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, consider subscribing, like, and leave a comment on what warrior you'd like to see next.